7:35 on this Thursday. We want to welcome by telephone our governor, Governor Asa Hutchinson. Sir, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dale. Great to be with you.
Oh, thank you, sir. We're joined here by, of course, Bob Zadora of Marion County Republicans, and Jerry Hogan, one of our sales guys, stopped by, and he says, I ain't going to talk. But he's here. Anyway, it was good to see you on Saturday in Little Rock, and then last week in Mountain Home. Jobs, coming to Mountain Home in Melbourne. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Well, it really is exciting. That's the rewarding part, and really my top priority is to spur economic growth and create more jobs, and to have the announcement there in Mountain Home of Baxter International investing more money, more than increasing the number of employees there, is just a huge announcement for the permanency of Baxter International in manufacturing of medical products there in Mountain Home. So great news for the Baxter County region. And then I went over to Melbourne and announced additional jobs, I think 70 jobs over the next few years there in the expansion of microplastics out of Flippin. And so examples of really big business and small business adding jobs, creating more opportunity for those in northern Arkansas. So very pleased with those announcements.
And, Governor, these are really good-paying, non-union jobs. And so, you know, this is a shot in the arm to this economy in north central Arkansas.
It is, and it's important to recognize, you know, both the tourism industry that's important. Baxter County is a retirement destination. It's got great health care, and then to really be the lead across Arkansas in manufacturing of medical products. And when I said a permanent situation there, nothing in life is permanent, but the fact is Baxter International has been there, I think it's 50 years.
Yeah, 1964 they opened. Mm-hmm.
And so that's really a commitment, and with this additional investment, it assures really their long-term commitment to Baxter County, and that shows you got a great workforce there. These are good-paying jobs, and really will help stimulate the economy there.
Tell us a little bit about the trip to Cuba. You were working with some Cuban people there to work on trade relations between Arkansas and Cuba?
That's right. You know, in Cuba, of course, we have the embargo that's been there for more than 50 years, which has prohibited the United States from trading with Cuba. And we have now, with the recognition of diplomatic relations between the countries, Arkansas has two great products, at least, that ought to be marketed there, one being our rice and the other being our poultry. Of course, northern Arkansas, our poultry would be a leading opportunity for Cuba. And with the restrictions, though, all we can do are cash sales. And so that limits their ability whenever Brazil can sell rice and poultry to Cuba on credit terms. Obviously, we can't compete with that when we can't extend any type of credit. And so I went there to market our products. I was the first governor to be there after we restored diplomatic relations. And I wanted to make sure Arkansas is in the first tier of states when trade does open up, that we will be in line to do business, and that will be great for our economy here. I recognize that it's a communist nation. They still are committed, as they say, to the principles of the revolution. They have to lift their restrictions on freedom that are so harmful. But the people of Cuba, if you get beyond their leaders, the people of Cuba want to be entrepreneurs. They want to do business. They want to have more opportunity. And what we've done has not worked well, so I have supported a gradual movement toward more trade with Cuba, first starting with extending credit terms. So that was a great opportunity for us. I think it'll pay off in the long term.
Now, is that credit restriction, sir, is that a state thing? Is that a federal regulation? Where does that?
That's federal. And so I've actually today signed a letter to congressional leaders asking them to move legislation that's sponsored by both Senator Bozeman and Congressman Crawford
Mm-hmm.
that would allow the U.S. to extend credit in agricultural sales. So it's not a full lifting of the embargo. It's narrowly targeted to help in agriculture, to extend credit, to make us more competitive with Brazil and Vietnam. So it's a federal issue, and we've got some leaders up there that are doing something about it, but it needs to have a vote, and that needs to be lifted.
Now, when you mentioned rice, I don't think that people realize that Arkansas, what are we, number
one, aren't we?
Number one, number two in rice production?
That's right, but think about it in these terms. Of all the rice production in the United States of America, Arkansas accounts for more than 50%.
Wow.
So not only are we number one, we are dominant in our rice production. I think California might be number two. And see, California is not logistically close, obviously, for sales to Cuba, but Arkansas is. Down the Mississippi River to the Gulf, and you're right there.
There you go. There you go.
So it's a perfect market for us.
School technology. Where are we at on the school technology? You're instrumental in getting some new technological systems in our schools across the state?
That's right. First of all, we have really worked hard to make sure that we have high-speed broadband access available in our schools, and so we've streamlined that to make sure that our children have the latest technology in that sense. But I've also, of course, pushed computer science education in every high school. You know, the ability to learn the language of the computer, the ability to write coding that builds our software for the next generation of manufacturing and robotics or agriculture. The software applications, the ability to write the computer code is so important.
And you, Governor, you recognized our bomb squad robotics team that's been around the nation winning awards even on the international level last week.
Oh, they're terrific, and I've been familiar with the bomb squad since I was in Congress, and they really illustrate in Mountain Home technology education, and Baxter International has been very supportive of it as a sponsor. So Mountain Home has really led in terms of technology education, but we're mandating that computer coding in every school, and I'll make an announcement today. This is news for your station.
Okay.
And that is that we got the numbers in on computer, how many students are taking computer science in our high school, and it's over 2,000.
Wonderful.
And so really big news, good numbers that have come in. It's exceeded my expectation. That's going to make a difference for our economy.
And the final thing I need to ask you about, this is that Pandora's box on Obamacare and private option. You know, sometimes I think we're trying to unscramble eggs here, but
we are.
Yeah, there was 44,000 non-residents and 6,700 people that are on the exchanges. Can you explain all of that? What was going on?
I am, and first of all, it clearly points up something that has to be addressed, but as usual, statistics need to be analyzed very carefully. And so just say, the John Stephen report said there's over 40,000 on Medicaid rolls, and these are all of the Medicaid rolls combined, over 40,000 that have a last address out of state, and they did this from a data comparison with LexisNexis. And so you think about it, somebody could have an address in Missouri, but they moved to Arkansas and they're legitimately eligible for Medicaid. They've moved here, they've got a job here or whatever else, they're with their family here, but their last known address is Missouri. So it could be some innocent explanations for it. But clearly there are thousands that are not eligible for the Medicaid rolls and are on it. And that points up the necessity of a continued review on this. And you remember, Dale, and I want to say hi to Bob there as well, but you remember whenever I got some criticism because I was sending out these notices that everybody needs to re-verify that they are continued to be eligible for Medicaid. And you know, the liberals were saying and the Democrat Party was saying, no, you know, that's not enough time. You shouldn't be doing that. You're going to be kicking people off that ought to be on Medicaid. Well, the fact is, now that we know that there's 40,000 that have out-of-state addresses, that's the reason we had so many that did not respond to our notice, is because they're no longer eligible. And so it's a very important step that we do in this re-verification that they're eligible. What we've got to do, though, is not make it a one-time event once a year, but we make it an ongoing process. Program integrity is a very important part of our Medicaid programs. We've got to do better in that.
Bob, you have a question?
I spoke to Judge Ott over in Marion County, and just in general, Judge Pendergast here in Baxter County. We're talking about the roads. The roads are, as you know, are a constant issue, more for the county and for the states than for the cities. And I was wondering what, in the future going forward, how we can better fund some of these road projects, especially more for the counties, that they can do the smaller projects. They don't need, we're not talking about big interstates here, but just to even be able to get more roads paved and keep up the roads.
A great question, Bob, and I have a highway funding task force that's working, that's going to make a report probably by December, making some recommendations on new revenue sources. This is primarily designed toward the state level, and the counties, of course, get a share of our existing revenue stream. There's a debate as to how that should work for the future, but we recognize the need there, whether it's at the state or local level. Many of there in Baxter County, do you all have any kind of local assessment, sales tax for road expenditures?
I'm not sure, Governor, on that one. I'd have to check with Judge Pendergrass on that, or the treasurer.
I mean, that's what a lot of the counties and cities are doing, recognizing the great need for it, how it's tied to economic development, and so they're trying to generate more local revenues for street construction, access roads, that type of infrastructure. But we should have something in December as to what the state's plans might be for the future.
Well, Governor, we've exhausted the time I requested. I'll give you about 30 seconds for final response. I want to thank you for being on the program today, sir.
Listen, I'm just glad to be on there, and what a great time I had in Mountain Home at Arkansas State University Mountain Home. What a great campus. It's exciting to see the growth of the economy there, but grateful for this opportunity, Dale, and we'll look forward to next time.
Very good, Governor. Thank you so much. Visiting with Governor Asa Hutchinson of Arkansas. Time for a break. We'll be right back. 7:51. I think you've got a PSA there.
I do. A personally delivered PSA here. There's a class today at the Muruck Center, which is across the hospital over there in one of those little houses on just north of there. There's self-defense for seniors. It's today at 1 o'clock. Come on by, take the class. There's classes over there all the time. It's just a great place for seniors and those of us that are looking for a little camaraderie. There's exercise classes and everything else over there. But you can call 508-3880. And like I say, the class is today at 1 o'clock at the Muruck Center across from the hospital. Stop by.
And Jerry Hopper dropped this off yesterday. Twin Lakes Baptist Church presents John 3:16 Ministries, a spiritual boot camp for men with addictions. Be a gospel music concert Saturday, November 14th. Free fish fry with all the trimmings at 5 o'clock with the concert starting at 6:30. Donations welcome, and all proceeds will go to the Baxter County House on the property of John 3:16 in Charlotte, Arkansas. They're trying to open one of those homes here.
Great.
Jerry Hopper be there, Twin Lakes Baptist Church Praise Team and Band, Flippin' First Baptist Church Praise Team and Band, 4+1 Quartet, Bill Pittman Trio, New Harmony Trio, Southern Praise Trio, for his Praise Quartet. A lot of good Southern gospel music that night, November 14th. Fish fry at 5 and free concert at 6:30. But
Twin Lakes does a great job. Sam does a great job over there. He's got great people.
But bring some cash or bring your checkbook and a pen and let's raise some money for John 3:16's ministry. These guys will come in at about, well, if they're going to serve fish at 5 o'clock, they'll get there about 2 o'clock, set up everything, fry the fish, serve the people, and before that concert's over, they're going to be cleaned up and out of there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable.
And when they were at the Bridge Bash, John, they had a group that came when they were filling the bags, the meals, the individual meal bags. they had to make them leave because other people were trying to get in there to work. These guys were just going. They were just going and going and going.
It's an amazing.
It's like, no, there's other people. They're trying to do their